Hi guys, Steph here. Silence is golden. Sorry, I'm not a very good singer. I'm sorry if I've put anybody off the breakfast. Okay, what we've got for you here, nice and simply, you've seen it, Onoto Magna Plunger Filler. This model is the 1873-69. As you can see, comes in this gorgeous black colour. Now, first of all, the plunger fillers, they brought them out in different colours, different variations, etc. Just to mention a few, they brought them out in what they termed as a silver visible pen, which meant that the barrel was sort of see-through, it had this silvery speckles. A similar pen which they termed as a golden brown visible pen, and they also brought out a black one which had a sort of opaque or translucent, don't quote me, don't send me messages if I've said it wrong, but a opaque black barrel with a sort of mesh pattern. So they brought them out in different colours, different variations. This one being, as we said, is the 1873. This one comes in this lovely sort of black chase pattern. You can see the chasing all the way up the cap there and on the barrel. If we turn it round slightly, you can see it's got this sort of empty cartouche there for, well, a particular period. If somebody wanted to have their names engraved on it, they could have done. Now, when I say that particular period, the pen were dating around about 1940. Well, not early, should I say, the mid 1940s, 1946. It's a lovely size pen from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, 136 millimeters capped. Around the diameter of the barrel, it's a gorgeous 13 millimeters in diameter. As we said, we'll show you in a moment. It's a plunger filler, comes with gold plated trim. You can see there the cap bands, again a slightly thicker one to the middle and two slightly slimmer bands on each side. The very recognizable Onoto chevron clip. There's a sideways view with a chevron pattern with the Thomas Delarue logo to the very top, and to the very top there we've got this black cap stud. Now, as I showed you a little bit earlier, very briefly, very clear, Onoto Magna barrel imprint, and underneath it says Delarue and Company Limited, London. Now, the model, if we find it over the barrel, over the camera, there we go, I think that's it there. You can see the model number reads 1873, and if we turn it round slightly, again looking over the camera, there we have it. You'll see it says 69. Now the 69, I'm not particularly too sure what it means. I assume it's the pattern or what the pen is actually made of. I'm assuming the other models have 2-digit after the 4-digit model number, so they would relate to the trim and maybe the pattern, the colour of the fountain pen. Now let's unscrew it for you. This pen, unfortunately, although I'm very envious, is not mine. It's a customer's pen. It came to me just for just to take a look, service, a clean up, etc. So it'll be going back very soon to the customer. So as I say, I'm very envious. So there's a few twirls. We've put a new cup washer inside, we've put new coat washers, seals to the bottom, so it should be in lovely working order. Let's take you up to this section there. You can see the section's got this slight ridge towards the nib, and if we show you the nib, the very recognisable two-tone Rue Onoto 14 carat London, and the number 7 to the very bottom of the nib there. So it's a lovely large number 7 nib, and as you can see, if I give you different angles, it's got this sort of silver section to the very top of the nib, which the, well, Onoto term this as being platinized silver. Let's show you a sideways view. Let's show you the feed underneath, the very recognizable Onoto comb feed underneath there. You can see, as you can see, everything's been cleaned in beautiful condition. The Onoto pens, for you people don't already know, are one of my best favourite fountain pens. You've also seen I've got a Magna lever fill fountain pen. I do love these plunger fill pens as well, but as I say, unfortunately this one is a customer's, and well, yes, unfortunately, reluctantly, I need to send it back to him. As we said, it's what we term as a plunger fill, so we've got this blind cap to the end, and what we do, we simply unscrew the plunger as far as we can, we pull out the plunger rod there, and we press down onto the plunger in one action. Let's see if we can hear the sort of, you know, like a popping noise from the end here. Okay, you can sort of hear it like a popping noise, which, well, gives us an indication that everything's hunky-dory. Now, because it's going back to the customer, I didn't want to fill it, but to be honest with you, I'd be sort of interested to know how the pen writes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw it slightly so we just get a little bit of ink in the pen. We don't want a lot because it's just for a writing sample, but I'm hoping you could have heard that bubbling noise. So what we do now, we screw the blind cap all the way back. Now if I show you the end here again, you may notice there's an arrow there pointing to the left, and what that simply means is that what we do, we simply give it a half turn on the blind cap. In effect, what that does is open a little sort of ink valve, if you like. What it is, it's like slightly peaked on top of the plunger, and that sits into a recess into the feed, and in effect closes up any gap to stop the ink flowing. So when we write, we have to in effect switch it on. So let's see how the pen writes. So what we've got is an Onoto Magna, lovely writer. The model is the 1873-69, made in England around about 1946. Made by the company by the name of so it's made by Rue and Company Limited. Later they changed it to Onoto, as you see here, writing very nicely, as you would expect from a superb quality made fountain pen. Does it have any line variation? Yeah, I would say it's got some slight line variation. If we do some figure of eights, there we go, just slight skip at the end there, but there we go. I would say writing with a fine line with applying a little bit of pressure on the downward stroke, you can see we're getting some, well, some nice line variation. Not the flexiest of nib, but slight flex, but all in all, a lovely, lovely writer. So there's a writing sample for you people. So what we'll do, we'll bring the ink back in, we'll pull up on the plunger over the ink, and there we go. Any ink that we need to go goes back into the ink. Now what we need to do, obviously because it's going back, we need to swill this pen out. So what I'm going to do, just so you can actually see how it actually works, hopefully, we'll bring in a little bit of water, we'll pull the plunger up, as you can see we get some slight droplets, and then what we'll do, we'll push down, leave it in for a few seconds, which allows the ink to fill into the barrel. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll bring another cup across here, we'll pull up on the plunger, and basically you need to do this over the ink bottle because we may get a little bit of blob when we push or pull the plunger. So there we go, when you pull it you do get a little bit of blobbing. Now if we push down, there we go. Let's just do it once more in the water. So we'll be quiet. I'm hoping you could hear that bubbling noise going on. Leave it in for a few seconds. Take it over to the other cup, pull on the plunger. Again we get some little droplets, and then push down on the plunger. So one more time, few seconds, over to the other cup, pull on the plunger, push down, and I'm hoping you could hear the sort of the pressure that it's exerted when it's actually squirting out. So let's pop the cups to one side and we'll carry on flushing the pen off camera. Let's screw the plunger knob back in. Let's bring on the cap, and there we have it. One of my all-time favourite fountain pens, the Onoto Magna 1873-69, a plunger filler in this beautiful chased sort of wavy line pattern, gold filled trim, a beautiful handsome fountain pen, and in my opinion, and I think fair to say in some other people's opinion, one of the best made pens of that period, full stop. So let's pop it down. As I say, reluctantly it has to go back to the customer, so so be it. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoy showing them to you people. Don't forget, leave a comment below. Have you subscribed? If not, get subscribing now. And if you possibly can, why not support my work? But for now, I'll just say bye bye for now.